Dong 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 dong. Wow, 54K. Let's take a look. Huh? 1,000 dislike? I'm sorry, Ma. I'm sorry, PH. Please. I'm sorry. Oh my God. What did I do? What did I do? Alright, let's get down to business, guys. I recently made a video bashing the latest MPL PH qualifier, okay? And a lot of people got offended by that, and I see quite a bit of salty comments. So it got to a point, I think I need to make a video to clarify my stance. First off, I know that I sometimes can be pretty incendiary with my language. English is not my first language, and I'm a pretty incendiary person. You know, I like to lay out the facts as it is. I don't like to go around the corners, put on some like nice words to change the fact, because I'm a deep believer that facts do not care about your feelings. And today, we're gonna go through some of the comments that you guys commented, and let's take a look and we'll talk about them. First category is people calling me diminishing Doggy's team's effort or Doggy's team's achievement. Let's use Winston Oba as an example. Okay, it might seem to you that NXP unfairly dominated the qualifiers, but mind you, it was a result of sleepless night, sacrifice, and perseverance through hours of practice. They deserve to win their way out of 1,207 teams that participated with BO1 disqualification before the BO3 qualifiers. Check Doggy's blog where he mentioned they practiced the same rotation for 2 weeks just to go through the BO1 Hell qualifier. It took Doggy years before qualifying again in MPL PH. That guy showed dedication and hard work to achieve those results. This is just a qualifier for MPL PH. I advise you to watch the main MPL PH event. Now let's see if you will still have the same thoughts. Yes, there are better teams, but at least acknowledge other teams positively. They too made sacrifices. How would you feel if a better team will tell you that your gameplay are epic rank? You're an influencer. Please be more sensitive on what you will say. No hate, just my thoughts. More power to your channel. Alright, Winsobot, thank you for the comment first of all. Thank you for your honest opinion. Now, did I say anything about diminishing Doggy's effort or Doggy's team's effort? No. I did not say any of that in my last video. All I said is I got a free ride to get to the MPL seat. Now, was that true or not? The entire qualification, not a single team ended up matched to NXP's level. And you can prove me wrong. And so far, every single comment, every single negative comment has failed to prove that, okay? The ban pick, the meta, and I've analyzed in details in my last video. Please go check out the videos and actually listen to what I said and check out the footages and see what I meant. Doesn't matter how much effort Dog's team put in, they got a free ride into the MPL qualifier, into the MPL seat, and that is a fact. I did not diminish their effort. I respect their effort. I know how hard it is to work in a pro team because I left Mobile Legends to play pro, guys, because Mobile Legends wasn't gonna include North America, so I left to play pro. I know how much work it took to be in a pro team. All right, and I went to China to train with the best teams in China. I saw how much effort they put in. So trust me, I understood how much Doggy put in his team. I understand how much Doggy's teammates put in their team. But it doesn't mean that they didn't get a free ride. Those two have nothing to do with each other. How much effort they put in has nothing to do with how low quality the qualifier was. And that was my point, that all their opponents did not match Doggy's team's level. They were actually far under their level. If you watch in details and compare them with all the other pro teams that actually play to the competitive level, that is just not acceptable how this qualifier is. In fact, the more you justify this or sympathize with other teams who didn't put in the effort to do the proper research, the more you actually diminish Doggy's team's effort. When I talk to Doggy, I'm a personal good friend of him, they will stay up until 3 to 4 a.m. for weeks just to practice a single rotation, just to do research on their opposition's ban pick. And here are the opponents that I go against that don't even understand how to ban pick properly in the current meta. How is this a respect to your opponent? How is this MPL qualifier level? Ladies and gentlemen, you have to understand this is MPL qualifier. The winner will have a chance to join the most prestige tournament in the entire world of ML. And the fact that Doggy's team put in sleepless nights efforts just to make sure they get in compared to their opponents who don't even know how to do band draft, I think is the biggest statement of how much effort, how much respect their opponents actually put in or the quality of this tournament. Our second type of comments are basically sympathizing that this is an open qualifier and every team can join, so you don't expect them to be pro. So let's take a look at an example of Cryptic ZJ. Y'all realize that this is open qualifiers. Don't expect the teams to be pro. LOL. Well, Cryptic and all the others who think the same. Listen, in my video, I said very clearly, I understand the tournament host decided to use the open qualifier to select teams to join MPL, which I highly disapprove of. But that's the format they decided to go with, okay. But this is MPL PH, guys. This is Philippines. This is the most OP region, the most qualified, the most prominent region on the planet of Mobile Legends. There are only few countries that are really good at Mobile Legends. Number 1 is Indonesia. Number 2 is PH. Those are most prominent, most looked upon, and most thought after teams that people from all over the world try to imitate, try to learn from, okay? This is a region that produce pro players. And you cannot tell me out of 1,000, maybe 1,207 teams that participated, okay? And you cannot get 16 teams that understands meta. Yes, they may not have a coach. I actually watched the entire video that Paulo Expert reacted to it, and you guys can go watch that video as well. Yes, this is open qualifier and anyone can join, but that doesn't mean the rank level team can play against competitive level teams. That's just not how it works. If you're selected out of 1,000 teams, the basic understanding that I have, the basic expectation that I have from a coach perspective is I would expect this team to at least understand what the meta is, all right? Don't tell me that, don't expect them to be pro. This is Philippines. Guys, don't you guys have pride for Philippines? I see a lot of salty comments because most Philippine players have this regional pride. Just like any other region. You guys hold your region to the high expectation just like us. Now me, I just mainly look at the quality of the games rather than, oh, this is PH, so I'm not going to talk objective about this region because I'm afraid to offend the viewers over there. No, I'm going to tell you guys the facts. I'm going to tell you guys the way it is. And the fact that out of 1,000 teams, and they cannot get 16 teams that understands meta is simply absurd. Okay, absurd. Selecting 16 out of 1,000, I have some basic expectations from those teams, and so should you. And let's take a look at Patrick Villemmer's comment. It's just a qualifier. Most of the team here doesn't have proper team or coaches. They are just good players on the team. Unlike an XP who has good coaches and training, this is not close to great as MPL teams. Not trying to be hate, but the way you say is condescending. Just explain yourself in a professional manner, not a salty player. Alright, Patrick. Here I have to sincerely apologize for my tone. I'm a very passionate person when I talk about stuff that I'm really passionate about. And MPL being one of those, when I talk about it, I'm very serious and I'm really passionate. That's just me being me. And I don't think I can change me just to please some other people's feelings, okay? Like I understand that my tone can be worked on. Like I can be more understanding that these teams are not pro teams. But listen, this is MPL, and if you're not good enough, you shouldn't be here in the first place. And I know that sounds harsh. I know that might not be good for a lot of people's ears, but I'm just, again, telling you the way it is. If I offended you, I'm sorry, but my tone is mainly reflecting my passion for MPL, for the region, for all of you guys. It's not really to demean anyone or demean any team, but again, facts don't care about your feelings, and it was a fact that that qualifier was a joke at best. Now, the third category of comments are mainly trying to trash talk my ability to analyze. I'm mainly trying to trash talk that I don't understand the meta. For example, from Jigjug. Just study how pro teams utilize Popol as main tank, and watch the other bracket of MPL PH quality on how they used Chang'e as counter pick to most meta heroes, then maybe you will gain just a little bitty more knowledge about the game. You call them troll, but I bet you can't even beat those teams. Okay, Jigjug, okay. Since you provided no evidence of ban picks that will counter what I said in the last video, how about I provide some evidence so you guys understand what other regions actually pick? Let's just use the most recent MPL Indo qualifier, the Invitational, as an example. Team RRQ take on Team Evos. Let's take a look at the ban pick. All right, they banned Loyi, all right, as the first ban. They banned Claude, Ling, and Selena. Evos first pick Esmeralda, and guess what RRQ end up taking? Atlas first pick, Uranus first pick. Why? Uranus is a tier S side laner right now. There's no other fighters that's a tier S. Uranus is the most annoying side lane fighter in the game. And sure enough, that'll be first pick. Understandable. Atlas, why? Atlas is the best initiator in the entire game. The person who has the mobility, who has getaways, who have initiation skills, large AoEs. Bar none, no second best. It's just simple picks that make sense. Ended up taking Belier. And let's keep on going to the next ban pick. The second game, when RRQ take on Evos, guess what? Loyi wasn't picked. So, what was first pick? Uranus was first pick for Team Evos, and when we come to RRQ, it's Loyi and Atlas. Why? I just mentioned about Uranus and Atlas, and Loyi, as I mentioned in the last video, is a tier S support in the game. No other support even come close. This is how OP this support really is, and for a team to not pick or ban this hero at all, the team that went against Doggy, Team Chicks, in the very last game, is beyond me. It blew my mind. When I watch Paulo expert analysis says, Dave, these guys don't have coaches and they're actually 2,000 points teams. Alright, if you're 2,000 points and you don't know what Loyi can do, I mean, is that the positive thing for a region or the bad thing for a region? So I'm just gonna leave it like that. Let's go to the next ban pick. How about Team AE take on Team Onyx in the MPL Indo, right? First pick Uranus again, and for Onyx, they took Kufra and took Selena. Why? Kaja was banned, right? You have Loyi available, that wasn't picked. But is Onyx and AE the best team right now in MPL? Debatable, right? Let's go take a look at another ban pick. Onyx versus AE the next game, while Loyi was first banned, right? Selena was banned, Ling and Claude some normal bans, the first pick Kaja. And the other side counter with Esmeralda and Atlas. The picks that make sense, right? In a competitive level. Let's continue to Team RQ versus RSG. Resurgence, right? Again, Lunox, Loyi, Selena, all those OP support are banned. And guess what the picks are? Esmeralda, one of the best fighters, right? You have Uranus and Boxia versus Connor, and RQ end up taking Kufra and Kaja right away. All those big initiators, all those big tanks and the great support, just really, really good picks. Let's go to the next ban draft. Resurgence pick up Loyi first pick, and RQ countered it with Kufra and Uranus. Once again, just very expectable, very OP meta picks. They do not go with Troll Leslie first pick. Now that's a little bit extreme, but you know what I mean. Let's move on to the next ban pick. BG versus Team Geek, right? These other teams are not really dominating the MPL Indonesia, but look what they picked. Selena first pick, and you have Loyi and Lancelot being taken up. Popol and Kupa being banned, very reasonable, right? Let's take a look at the next game. Onyx versus Evos. Once again, Alice being banned up, Kaja being banned up, and what did Onyx take? Claude. They countered with Uranus and Thamus once again, because this is a tier S fighter and it has to be taken. Let's go to the next pick. Onyx versus Evos, right? You have Selena being banned, you have Kaja being banned, and Esmeralda, Atlas, Uranus, Thamus, all those picks are being taken out because those are the most OP meta picks. Let's go to the next ban pick. How about BG versus Resurgence? Uranus, once again, first pick, and RSU counter was Kufra and Kaja. So far, I hope you guys have seen the pattern over here. Alright, all those heroes that's being first picked or banned are the heroes I mentioned in the last video where the team going against Doggy did not pick or ban or even think about. Why? I don't know. And some people are telling me that they're 2,000 points players, they're great players without a coach. I don't care you have a coach or you don't. But this is a pro scene and you should come prepared because you only have one chance. If you miss that chance, just like Team Chicks, you are gone. Alright, now here is an important note. Popol and Kupa, right? A lot of you guys have mentioned in the comments, Dave, you don't know what you're talking about. A lot of region has been using Popol and Kupa as a tank. Alright, you have no idea what you're talking about. Well, let's take a look at a sample team fight for Popol and Kupa. How about that? in this example, right, Popol and Kupa is going to check bush where Farsa is standing. You know, you guys say, oh, Popol and Kupa is so good at checking bushes. Popol and Kupa decided to check bush, send a trap in there, and guess what happened? He got bursted. But Dave, that's just one example. All right, let's take a look at another example. Over here in this skirmish, you can see that Kufra is hiding in that bush. Kagura kind of know it, Popol kind of know it. So he decided to go check the vision just a little bit. Just a little bit, not too much. And guess what? He got engaged by a Kufra and he got bursted by a Farsa once again. This hero, if you haven't figured out yet, is easily countered in the meta now. People have figured out you can pick long range poke like Farsa, like Luoyi to completely demolish his effect. Yes, I understand his early game is good. I understand he gives great vision if the team is winning. But if the team is losing, this hero cannot check vision because it's too squishy. Even if you build full tank, he's still way too squishy. And you have to walk very, very close in order to set up a trap. That's not a great vision seeking, all right? It's not like Selena sending a far away stun to check vision. This is a guy that have to walk into a melee range in order to check vision. And by the time you do that, you're already punished if there's somebody hiding in that bush. And another thing is this hero is a single target qual control. What does that mean? What if I kill your wolf? Are you gonna be useful then? What if I just make sure that you use your skill on our tanks? Are you gonna be useful afterwards? There's a huge downtime when Popol and Kupa does not have ultimate, he's useless. When Kupa dies, Popol is useless. There are a lot of scenarios where this hero can be easily countered. That's why he's used mainly as a side laner, which you see a lot more success there than as a support or a tank. Because you cannot expect this hero to initiate a team fight. He's just way too unstable in that aspect. That doesn't mean he cannot be used in that position. I'm just saying when there are much better choices, when there are tier S choices, why do you have to go with tier C? It makes no sense, right? What I want to share with you guys, the strong or not strong is a term of relativity. You cannot say that Popol and Kupa is OP, Dave, you don't understand. Yes, I understand. But all I'm saying is there is better choice, much better choice. And you did not go with, but instead you want to go with Popol and Kupa. And that makes zero sense to me. And this is my favorite, okay? This is the type of comments or the comments that ask me to go kill myself. For example, from JK Andrews, you can still delete this video, you know? Smiley face. Amazing job, JK. I think I should. In fact, let me go ahead and do that right now. Hey, you guys, how's everyone doing? This is your guy, Assistant Dave. See the Wait. Who are these people again? Now let's move to the last type of comments, or the comments that tell me, hey Dave, they're just trying new metas. Philippines is very, very exploratory, like they're very advancing meta, like try different things. Let's take Raiden King for example. Watch the video 3 times just to make sure. Now, this might sound harsh, but you're reaching out too far. And you're the one sounding salty. But most of all, you sound like someone who thinks himself as very important. Granted, I don't think you are. But by the way, you say the things on the video and how you compare it to the things, most especially the way you're thinking is making you sound very arrogant. Here's the thing, you compare gameplay from a region that's not afraid to try something different and break the meta. And here you're saying that you're analytical, well compare how many players there are in NA and PH, put to that fact that if everyone used the meta characters that you speak of, then everything would be redundant and new strategies will not be born. Alright, then let me share something with you. When I say that I'm very analytical, I mean to analyze all the ban picks. I like to see a pattern of why some teams always win or some teams always lose. What I mean is I like to compare things which you guys probably don't have the time to because this is my job. I do this for full time and I compare this for you and I lay this facts out for you so you can take a look yourself. Now, sounding confident does not mean I'm arrogant. Once again, I'm just very passionate and very confident in the things that I share with my community. If you have evidence to prove that I'm wrong, feel free to share that with me, either through Discord, email, anything you want, and I'm all ears. All right? But listen, break the meta? Are you kidding, my friend? This is do or die moment. You have one chance to proceed. Okay, this is not the time to break the meta. This is qualifier. If you win, you go forward. If you lose, you go home. This is it, okay? This is a time that players are expected to do their absolute best. The teams are expected to pull out their absolute best strategies. This is not the time to break the meta, especially the so-called break the meta doesn't even make any sense. Okay? Especially, you have to understand, when I compare the meta, I don't compare NA and PH. I compare the world. And then I look at different regions, what they pick, and I analyze why this pick will make sense, why this pick have so much win rate, and then I make a video. I don't just make a video and tell you, hey, Luoyi is the best support heroes, and prove me wrong. I actually do research and find out why Luoyi is the best hero. At the same time, I can also tell you 10 reasons why Popol and Kupa cannot be used as an initiator, as a main tank. Alright, that's what I mean by analytical. I do not mean compare NA with other regions. That's not what I meant. And if you really want to use off-meta heroes, use it in the practice. Alright, not against ranked teams who you know you're gonna win. Alright, most of the ranked teams are 100 points, 200 points, even 1,000 points, and you're 2,000 points. So what? They're ranked for a reason. This is how pro team works. The actual pro teams, they scrimmed against other pro teams, and they try different things in those scrim practices, in the actual scheduled practices, because it doesn't cost anything, and they can try it against good players. But you don't try it against rank. It doesn't make any sense. And if it works consistently in scrims, that's when you take it out in the tournaments. It's not something, oh, I play against 100 points teams and I think it works. Let me go against RRQ with this. No, that's called literal suicide. Let's just give up the ticket. Why don't you just give it up and say, RRQ, give me $1 million. I'm going to throw the game by pretending to break the meta. And if you continue reading this, I remember before, there was a time in MPL before that people say Balaric, the older one, wasn't part of the meta and was ignored. Then came out on the tournament, Balaric was used in tandem with another non-meta support back then, which is Cease. Pretty much people were surprised at how effective they are. You can give all the specific example you want. If you come to my stream, you will say that I have been the first person in North America that said Belmont's not a troll pick. This is the hero that will counter Uranus. That Wonglan may be not a troll pick because this is the best hero to counter the meta strongest Silenter Esmeralda. You have to understand all the picks are relative, but the picks that we seen in a qualifier simply did not make any sense. That's not called breaking the meta. That's called not making your sense, or in other words, not thinking. Okay, yes, they may not have a coach, but that doesn't justify how unprepared they walk into this do or die moment, going against Philippines, one of the strongest teams. Alright, so I'm gonna leave it there, but listen guys, I'm gonna say this one more time. The video I made did not diminish in any shape or form that any teams, how much effort they put in to get to the point of this qualifier. Especially Doggy's team. I understood they have been trying for many seasons and did not get in, and now they finally got in. Good for them, but does this mean that qualifier was not a joke? Not at all. Did it mean that they didn't get a free ride? Not at all. They got a free ride. And this has nothing to do with how much effort they put in. I'm simply saying that qualifier, the organizer, did not do a good job of putting this tournament together. And if you have second thoughts, once again, leave a comment down below, but don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn that bell on. This channel is for people who think independently, who are reasonable, who lay out statements, but also most importantly, have stuff to back it up, have stuff to justify what they says, not just slogans, not just delete your channel, you suck. None of that, I can care less, okay? Once again, love you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye now.
Just for the thrill of it, nothing counterfeit with you, just the thrill of it.